Welcome to Easy English Listen. Improve your English by listening. Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. So, did you survive Monday this week, or did Monday survive you? Honestly, I feel like some people treat Monday like a villain that just has to be defeated, instead of starting it with a tiny positive habit that could actually make a difference.
Barely. And hello to everyone listening. Grab your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you awake, because we're about to make this session interesting. Seriously, if your Monday already feels like a battle, at least make it a productive one, right?
Interesting, huh? Well, I hope it's more than just surviving the week like zombies. Because here's the thing, small habits today, tiny things, can actually lead to huge changes tomorrow. And people don't believe it because they want fireworks instead of slow progress.
Small habits? Sounds boring already. Are we talking about brushing teeth properly or something more exciting, like avoiding drama on social media or reading 10 pages of a self-help book? Because that doesn't sound like fun.
Ha! Avoiding drama would be the dream, but no. Today we're talking about the tiny, almost invisible actions you take every single day, and why they actually matter way more than the big weekend plans you make and forget by Monday.
Tiny stuff. So basically, watching 5 minutes of YouTube instead of 10? That's basically all the progress I can commit to right now. I'm being honest.
You're hopeless. But that's exactly why we're here, to show that even tiny, boring things, done consistently, are far more powerful than any one-time dramatic action.
All right, and hello again to our listeners. Yes, you. Don't fall asleep yet. I promise there will be some laughs, maybe a little guilt about habits you've been ignoring, and some practical tips you can actually start today.
Exactly. And if you're thinking, oh no, here comes another lecture from Emma, relax. Just follow along, and by the end, you might actually feel motivated, maybe even inspired enough to take one small action after this podcast.
Motivated? I'm more motivated to finish my coffee before it gets cold. But, okay, fine. Let's talk small habits. Give me one. Make it interesting, not some boring drink water and walk.
One small habit. How about this? After listening to this podcast, pick one tiny action you've been avoiding. Just one. And do it. Today. Even if it's ridiculously small, like doing one push-up, writing one sentence, or reading a single page.
See, listeners? That's the first homework. And don't worry, we'll make it fun. We'll argue a little, and maybe even laugh at ourselves along the way. This isn't about perfection. It's about starting.
Yes, because learning about habits doesn't have to be boring. And yes, coffee counts as a habit, but we'll get to that later.
Of course it counts. It's my strongest habit. And listeners, if coffee isn't your thing, don't worry. You'll still get some actionable tips. Promise.
All right, everyone, let's get into it. Small habits, big change, and a little bit of chaos along the way. Are you ready?
Let's do this. And maybe survive Tuesday too while we're at it. Okay, true. But small habits feel too slow. If someone wants to lose 20 kilos, telling them to walk 5 minutes per day sounds like a joke. Like, come on, how is that supposed to change anything in a meaningful way? Honestly, sometimes I think people just need a big, dramatic change to feel like they're progressing.
It sounds like a joke because people are impatient. 5 minutes becomes 10, 10 becomes 30, 30 becomes a daily walk, and suddenly you've built a foundation without realizing it. 0 minutes stays 0 forever. That's the difference between planning and actually taking action. People underestimate consistency.
0 stays 0 forever. Wow, you sound like a life coach now. I can hear the motivational seminar music playing behind your voice.
Yeah, coach voice at your service. You missed one push-up today? Don't worry, it happens. But 0, that's where people fail before they even start. They overthink one mistake and just quit entirely.
All right, but explain this. Why do people start strong and then quit after one bad day? Because honestly, That's most people's story. One slip and they abandon everything. It's like they expect life to be perfect all the time.
Because they think perfection is required. Missing one workout doesn't mean failure. Stopping completely does. And here's the catch. People overthink one slip instead of continuing. Life isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up again and again. Even a tiny habit repeated consistently will eventually lead to progress that feels almost magical.
Bad Tuesday destroys dreams.
Exactly. Tuesday is always guilty. Wednesday usually joins the party too, and somehow Thursday gets a free pass. The point is, you can't blame the days. You have to blame your inconsistency.
Consistency beats intensity. Doing small things every day beats doing huge things once a month. And yet, people never believe it until it's too late.
So we're basically celebrating mediocrity.
Not mediocrity, persistence. Doing small actions repeatedly builds momentum. Small wins accumulate into big victories.
Exactly. And that's why even a single push-up, a single page read, or a 5-minute walk matters. Over time, it transforms into a lifestyle without feeling like you forced yourself into some dramatic change overnight.
Small habits are boring. Social media loves drama. I changed my life in 30 days. Nobody clicks, I read 5 pages today. Or, I did 5 push-ups at 7 a.m. People want fireworks, not consistency.
That's real growth. Quiet. Nobody posts small progress, but books get finished, muscles grow, skills improve. The magic is in repetition and patience. It's invisible, but powerful.
Quiet growth. Sounds poetic. Are you secretly writing a motivational book or something?
Maybe. Or maybe just trying to convince you that watching 5 minutes less of YouTube counts as progress. Exactly. Small actions compound. 1 page, 1 push-up, 1 extra glass of water. Over months, it builds a life you wouldn't believe came from tiny things. And if you skip one day, it doesn't matter. Momentum keeps going as long as you return the next day.
But what about motivation? I mean, people get tired, bored, or just plain lazy. How do small habits survive that?
That's where discipline comes in. Motivation starts you, yes, but habits and discipline carry you forward when motivation fades. That's why small habits are actually safer than big, dramatic goals. They don't burn you out immediately.
Ah, so the boring stuff is actually the safe stuff. Brilliant. I feel like my whole life has been spent chasing fireworks.
Exactly. Fireworks are fun for a moment, but habits are the steady glow that keeps you going.
So, how do you actually start small habits? Because honestly, I feel like start small is easier said than done. Sometimes starting feels like the hardest part.
Make it ridiculously easy. 1 page reading, 5 push-ups, 1 glass of water first thing in the morning. Ridiculously easy. Make it so small your brain thinks it's nothing. And then it grows from there. That's how momentum begins.
5 push-ups? That's nothing. I can do that before breakfast, then skip the rest of the day and still call it a win.
Exactly. Nobody refuses nothing. Then they might do 10, then 15, and before you know it, your boring 5 becomes a real routine. Suddenly, you're stronger, healthier, and more consistent without feeling like you forced it.
You're basically tricking your brain. Evil mastermind.
Yes, the brain loves comfort. Make it easy, trick it, win life. And don't underestimate repetition. It's like magic.
And I guess the hardest part is showing up. Even if it's small, just showing up every day, rain or shine.
Exactly. Showing up is half the battle. Once you show up, the habit starts to reinforce itself. It's like compounding interest, invisible at first, but massive over time.
Emotion matters too. Without inspiration, habits feel empty. I mean, if I don't feel like doing something, I just don't do it. Motivation feels unpredictable. Some days you wake up pumped, Other days you want to stay in bed for 3 hours. How do you make small habits stick when motivation isn't reliable?
Motivation starts you. Habits keep you going. Discipline works even when tired, sad, or bored. That's the real power, showing up even when you don't feel like it. That's where true change lives. You can't rely on feeling inspired every day. You have to rely on the systems you build.
Spark and engine. You make it sound like a car.
Exactly. Spark is emotion. Engine is habit. Without engine, spark dies. And let's be honest, we all love a spark, but without the engine, life goes nowhere. That's why small habits paired with discipline create unstoppable momentum.
And I suppose the engine is different for everyone? Like, what keeps me going might not work for someone else.
Exactly. You have to find your own engine. Accountability, rewards, tracking progress, it all counts. Tiny habits are flexible enough to fit your life and personality.
So basically, we're inventing our own personal habit machines. Great. And here I thought I just needed willpower. Turns out I need engineering skills too.
Exactly. You need to trick yourself into consistency. Make it ridiculously easy, repeat it daily, and before you know it, it becomes automatic.
And I guess the beauty of this is, small habits are forgiving. You slip up, but you can always get back on track without feeling like a complete failure.
Yes, and that's why tiny actions matter more than huge, dramatic efforts that burn you out in a week. It's slow, steady, invisible, but incredibly powerful.
All right, so what's today's challenge? Give us something concrete, because small habit is still abstract for some listeners.
Pick one small habit. Start today. 10 minutes of reading, one push-up, or even drinking an extra glass of water. Tiny action, huge impact. No excuses. Make it ridiculously easy so your brain doesn't even question it.
And no blaming Tuesday. You know how everyone blames the day for being too hard or too busy.
Never blame Tuesday. Just pick one small thing and do it. And remember, missing one day isn't failure. Missing twice in a row is when habits die.
Small actions, big future. Start now. Don't wait for motivation. Build your engine and let consistency carry you forward.
And if you want to make it fun, turn it into a tiny competition with yourself or a friend. Who can stick to the small habit more consistently this week? It's all about micro progress, not perfection.
And for our listeners, don't forget, tiny things compound. One page today, one page tomorrow. Suddenly, you've finished a book. One push-up today, two tomorrow. Suddenly, you're stronger than you expected.
Exactly. And for our next episode, we're diving into overthinking, how to stop worrying and start acting. So, listeners, comment below with your thoughts, struggles, or tiny habits you're starting this week. All right, everyone, that's it for today. We hope you had fun, learned a little, and maybe even laughed at us a bit.
Remember, habits aren't built in a day. But even a tiny step today is already a win. And hey, we want to hear from you.
Exactly. What's a tiny habit you're starting this week? Or maybe a big challenge you want to tackle but don't know where to start? Drop it in the comments. We might feature it in our next episode.
And speaking of the next episode, we're thinking about covering overthinking, how to stop worrying and start acting. But we want your thoughts. What topics excite you? What struggles should we tackle together?
Yes, don't hold back. Share your ideas, your funny stories, your fails, anything. And let us know in the comments what you want the next podcast to be about.
So listeners, before we officially say goodbye, comment below and tell us what the next podcast topic should be. We'll read your ideas, maybe discuss them, and see you in the next episode with tips, advice, and of course, some more arguments between us.
And remember, tiny habits lead to big change, but only if you start today. So comment, share, and let us know what you want the next podcast to be about.
All right, that's all for today, listeners. Until next time, Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now, and keep growing, everyone.